Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you again for tuning in for another video, and I really appreciate each and every one of you that does. And today I was sitting there splitting firewood, and just you and the wood splitter and the logs gives you time to think about things. And I was thinking about how fishing in the last couple of years has changed so much due to forward-facing sonar, and how everybody is going to forward-facing sonar baits. The minnows and jerk baits and just all the different baits they have now, specifically for the forward-facing sonar, and how the forward-facing sonar craze has blew up. And I was thinking, those fish that had never seen it before have been biting like crazy and this and that, and it'll soon come to an end. The fish won't be biting as well because they'll be used to seeing baits out there too. They'll be used to seeing those minnows and all those different baits that they have made for forward-facing sonar. And I mean, the baits that have always worked still works, and you can still go out there and catch a limit of fish, pitching, flipping, throwing a spinner bait, throwing a crankbait, any of that. You can still go out there and catch your limit of fish. You can go out there and catch a limit of good fish and beat those forward-facing guys, because it happens, and happens fairly often, that some of those forward-facing guys gets beat by the real traditional fishermen. Chris Johnson won that BASS tournament doing traditional fishing. He has an older boat. I can't remember what year it is. Seems like it's an 80-some Ranger. He has a Lowrance flasher on it. He has no life scope at all, and he kicked all their tails throwing a spinnerbait mainly. And I just want you guys to think about the old ways of fishing still works. Your big plastic worms in the summer, your plastics in the spring, Ned rig fishing, drop shot fishing, topwater spinner baits, crankbaits, just your normal fishing like we've always done, the real fishing like we always done. It's not going out there shining your spotlight around and finding a fish out there. Oh, there's one, let's throw at it. And you went out there, you locate where you think the fish ought to be, and you start fishing, and you start catching them. So don't lose the old way of fishing. Don't get all wrapped up in the forward-facing hype. After a few years, those fish will be accustomed to those lures too. It'll be just like they'll be talking about it. I can promise you they'll be talking about it within the next few years of how forward-facing fishing is not as good as it once was, because the fish are used to seeing those seeing those baits out there now. Just like you hear the pros talk about, the fish have seen thousands of baits all year long, and so they're finicky. So you have to either go to a big bait or you have to go finesse and to catch them. So it's going to end up being the same way for the forward facing guys. And I like the guys out there forward facing. They're leaving my fish alone. I don't do the forward facing. My thing is power fishing. I'll throw a crankbait, I'll throw a jig, I'll throw a spinnerbait, buzzbait. I'll get up there, and my favorite is pitching and flipping into heavy cover. Get all these yahoos out there using the box and out there scoping for fish. That's leaving my fish alone up there on the bank. And certain times, those fish out up there on the bank, I'll have a lot more big fish up there than what those guys will out there sitting over 100 foot of water. But anyway, just my thoughts for today when I was out there splitting wood. And what's your thoughts on it? You think the fish is going to get accustomed to all those forward-facing baits just like they do up closer to the bank? And just kind of wondering what your thoughts would be. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here, waiting in line to pick kids up from school. Anyway, you all have a very blessed week. And if you like what you've seen, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys out on the water.